Have you ever wondered how major geopolitical events unfold behind the scenes? There are whispers and headlines swirling around that U.S. intelligence agencies might have pulled off one of the biggest surveillance coups in recent history. Media outlets, including the New York Times, have reported that the CIA had been keeping a close eye on Iran's top leadership for months. So, what's the story behind these claims, and how could something like this even happen? Let's break it down. Imagine a shadow war, fought not with soldiers, but with data and spies. According to these reports, that's exactly what was happening. The New York Times published a bombshell article claiming the CIA was tracking the movements of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. They weren't just watching from a distance. They allegedly knew about a specific high-level meeting in Tehran. This intelligence was then reportedly shared with Israel right before a major military strike. It wasn't just Western media either. Regional outlets like Geo News Urdu in Pakistan picked up the story, referencing the claims of intelligence sharing between the US and Israel. Other news sources, like Iran, International, and the New Arab, echoed these reports, suggesting the CIA provided incredibly precise intelligence on Khamenei's location during a Saturday morning gathering. Of course, the sources for these stories are often anonymous, described as officials briefed on the intelligence, which is pretty standard for this kind of high-stakes reporting. So far, there's been no official confirmation from the CIA or the Israeli government. The information points towards a coordinated effort, but with tensions so high, independent verification is nearly impossible. What's fascinating is how these media claims build on one another. A major outlet like the New York Times lays the groundwork, and then regional platforms add their own context and analysis. It creates a layered narrative. Unconfirmed reports hint that this wasn't just a one-off operation. It was part of a much broader surveillance strategy targeting Iran's entire command structure, including the Revolutionary Guard and political advisors. The reports also suggest that advanced technology played a huge role, though the specific methods are kept under wraps to protect sources and techniques. While different outlets might interpret the motives and outcomes differently, there seems to be a general agreement in the reporting. There was a massive surveillance operation, and information was shared. So, if these reports are true, how did the CIA allegedly track one of the most protected leaders in the world for months? It's not as simple as a movie scene with a guy in a van listening to a bugged phone. Real-world, long-term intelligence monitoring is a complex puzzle involving a mix of high-tech tools and old-school human intelligence. First up, let's talk about eyes in the sky. Satellite tracking is a cornerstone of modern surveillance. High-resolution satellites can monitor specific locations, like government buildings or residences, day in and day out. They look for patterns, vehicle movements, changes to security perimeters, anything that signals activity. Over months, analysts can piece together a target's habits, their preferred travel routes, the times they usually move, and even which buildings they use. You might have seen commercial satellite images in the news showing damage after a strike. That same technology can be used for long-term monitoring to predict when someone might be at a certain location. Then there's signals intelligence, or SIGINT. This is the art of intercepting communications, phone calls, emails, radio transmissions. Intelligence agencies use powerful tools to decrypt messages or analyze what's called metadata. Metadata is the data about the data, who called whom, when, and for how long, without even needing to hear the conversation. By tracking device signals and network patterns, analysts can build a digital footprint that often matches up with a person's physical location. These digital breadcrumbs can reveal schedules, planned meetings, and associations between people, offering a glimpse into a target's routine. And it doesn't stop there. All this data is fed into what's called movement analysis. By combining satellite imagery, signals intelligence, and information from human sources on the ground, like allied informants agencies can build a detailed profile of a target's life. This could include how often they hold meetings, the routes they take to avoid traffic or security risks, and the people they meet with. It's like putting together a massive jigsaw puzzle where each piece of data helps to create a clearer picture of their day-to-day existence. This long-term approach builds confidence, allowing analysts to predict future movements with a higher degree of accuracy. Let's dive a little deeper into the human element of this equation. Technology is powerful, but it's often human intelligence, or HUMINT, that provides the crucial context. This is the world of spies and informants, people on the ground who can provide information that satellites couldn't. These sources could be anyone from a disillusioned government official to a well-connected business person. According to the reports, a breakthrough in human intelligence may have been the key. Someone with inside access might have provided specific details about the meeting in Tehran, the exact time, location, and who would be attending. Recruiting and managing such assets is incredibly risky and takes years of careful work, but the payoff can be immense. An informant could confirm what technology suggests, turning a high-probability guess into a near certainty. Another critical factor is operational security, or OPSEC. For a target like Khamenei, security would be extremely tight. This means intelligence agencies would need to get creative. They might look for weak links in the security detail or exploit vulnerabilities in the communication systems. For example, if a senior official uses a less secure personal device, that could become an entry point for surveillance. It's a constant cat-and-mouse game. As one side tightens security, the other develops new methods to bypass it. The media reports hint that a combination of a long-term technical surveillance campaign and a timely piece of human intelligence created the perfect storm, allowing them to pinpoint the target's location with high confidence. So, let's put it all together. What the media reports are describing is a multi-layered intelligence operation that likely took years to develop. It started with broad surveillance, using satellites and signals intelligence to map out the patterns of life of Iran's leadership. This created a baseline understanding. Then, a crucial piece of human intelligence, a tip from an insider, may have provided the final, actionable detail about a specific meeting. This information, a mix of high-tech data and on-the-ground spying, was then allegedly passed to allies for a swift military action. It's important to remember that this entire narrative is based on unconfirmed reports from anonymous sources. We are looking at a picture painted by journalists who have spent their careers covering the intelligence world. While these reports from outlets like the New York Times are often highly credible, the full truth may not be known for years, if ever. Governments rarely, if ever, confirm the details of such sensitive operations. What this story really highlights is the incredible capability of modern intelligence agencies and the complex, hidden dynamics that shape global events. It's a reminder that the biggest moves on the world stage often begin with a whisper, a satellite image, or a secret past in the dead of night. This alleged operation, if true, represents a massive intelligence achievement. But it also raises profound questions about privacy, sovereignty, and the rules of engagement in this new era of digital warfare. The lines between surveillance, intelligence sharing, and direct action are becoming increasingly blurred. As technology continues to advance, these kinds of operations may become more common, reshaping international relations in ways we are only just beginning to understand. The story is far from over, and you can be sure that intelligence agencies around the world are studying this event, learning from its alleged successes and failures. Thank you so much for watching. This is a complex and evolving story, and we'll be sure to keep you updated as more information comes to light. If you found this breakdown interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the events shaping our world. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time. Security details. Unconfirmed reports indicate that the CIA's monitoring of Khamenei involved refining these profiles over months, leading to higher accuracy in predictions. Such surveillance requires significant resources and poses risks if detected. But it is a standard practice in modern intelligence work against high-value targets. In practice, this could involve cross-verifying data from multiple satellites. Signals, intercepts, and even open-source information like public announcements or media coverage of events. To delve deeper, long-term monitoring often starts with broad collection and narrows down to specifics. Initial phases might involve wide area surveillance to identify key locations, followed by focused efforts on those sites. Reports claim that the CIA's operation built a comprehensive dataset, allowing for real-time updates. This level of detail allegedly provided the edge needed for coordination with allies. Challenges in such surveillance include countermeasures like decoys or encrypted communications, which Iran is known to employ. Despite these, sources suggest the CIA overcame them through persistent efforts and technological superiority. 3. The alleged Tehran meeting reports claim a high-level meeting was scheduled in central Tehran on Saturday morning, according to the New York Times. This gathering took place at a leadership compound housing offices for the Iranian presidency, the supreme leader, and the National Security Council. Sources suggest that top officials, including Khamenei, were expected to attend, making it a significant event. Such meetings are strategically important because they often involve decision-making on national security, foreign policy, or military responses. In Iran's political system, the supreme leader holds ultimate authority. So his presence at these sessions can influence key outcomes, such as responses to regional conflicts or internal governance. Reports indicate that this particular meeting was amid heightened tensions, possibly discussing retaliatory measures against perceived threats from Israel or the U.S. The compound's central location facilitates quick assembly, but also exposes it to risks if intelligence penetrates security. Mention has been made in unconfirmed reports that the supreme leader would attend. It's elevated the meeting's value as an intelligence target. Central Tehran locations like this compound are fortified, but their fixed nature can make them vulnerable to precise strikes if intelligence pinpoints occupant presence. GeoNews Urdu referenced similar reports, noting the meeting's role in the alleged intelligence breakthrough. Analysts suggest that convening multiple leaders in one place, while efficient for coordination, increases risks in contested environments. Furthermore, such gatherings might include briefings on ongoing operations, making them prime for intelligence collection if infiltrated. Expanding on the importance, these meetings often set the tone for Iran's foreign relations, especially with proxies in the region. Reports suggest the agenda could have included discussions on missile programs or alliances based on the timing amid escalations. Security around such events typically involves layered defenses, but unconfirmed claims point to potential lapses that allowed tracking. The Saturday morning slot might have been chosen for discretion, assuming lower external activity, but this allegedly backfired due to surveillance. 4. Timing change of the strike. According to the New York Times report, initial plans suggested a night operation for the strike. After intelligence about the meeting emerged, the timing was allegedly changed to Saturday morning. This adjustment reportedly allowed targeting during the gathering, maximizing impact. Military timing adjustments based on intelligence updates are a common practice. Operations are often planned with flexibility to incorporate real-time data. Night strikes benefit from reduced visibility and potentially lower alert levels. But daylight operations can be chosen if intelligence confirms a high-value opportunity. In this case, sources claim the US and Israel shifted from an overnight plan to align with the 9:40 a.m. Tehran time meeting. Such changes involve rapid decision-making chains where intelligence analysts relay updates to commanders. Factors like weapon systems, reportedly precision missiles with long ranges, are considered to ensure accuracy. Unconfirmed reports suggest Israeli jets used specific missiles for this purpose. This demonstrates how dynamic intelligence can override initial plans to exploit fleeting windows. In broader terms, timing shifts require assessing risks like increased offenses during day hours. But the alleged payoff was deemed worth it. Too elaborate, initial night plans might have aimed at empty structures for symbolic damage, but the meeting intelligence upgraded the target to personnel. Reports claim this decision was made quickly, reflecting tight integration between intelligence and military units. Historical precedents show similar adjustments in other conflicts, where last-minute data alters outcomes significantly. 5. Alleged U.S.-Israel intelligence coordination. Reports claim close coordination between U.S. intelligence and Israeli intelligence. According to sources, the CIA shared details on Khamenei's location with Israel, facilitating the strike. Intelligence sharing alliances function through established agreements where agencies exchange data on mutual threats. The U.S. and Israel have a long history of such cooperation, dating back decades, including joint operations against shared adversaries like Iran. This includes technical support, such as satellite feeds or signals intercepts, to enhance each other's capabilities. Over time, this partnership has evolved to include real-time data streams and joint analysis centers. Historical examples include U.S. assistance in Israeli operations during the Cold War era or more recent collaborations on cyber threats. In this instance, unconfirmed reports suggest the sharing was high fidelity, meaning detailed and reliable. GeoNews Urdu highlighted this coordination in its coverage of the strikes. Such alliances are governed by protocols to protect sources, but they can escalate tensions if perceived as aggressive by targets like Iran. Furthermore, coordination might involve deconflicting operations to avoid overlaps or friendly fire risks. 6. Mossad's possible role. Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency, is known for its operational style focused on covert actions and precision targeting. It often employs human intelligence networks, cyber tools, and sabotage in foreign territories. Historically, Mossad has conducted operations in Iran, such as alleged assassinations of nuclear scientists or theft of archives. These involve deep infiltration and minimal footprints. In this case, allegedly, Mossad may have utilized shared U.S. intelligence for the strike, though reports connect it indirectly. Sources claim Mossad's expertise in regional networks complemented CIA surveillance. Mossad's approach typically emphasizes deniability and efficiency, using assets built over years. To add depth, Mossad's role might have included verifying U.S. data through its own sources, ensuring accuracy before action. Unconfirmed reports suggest involvement in planning the strike's execution, leveraging its experience in high-stakes missions. 7. Iran's security response. Reports suggest Iranian leadership may not have fully adjusted security protocols despite possible threats. This could stem from underestimating the intelligence penetration or logistical constraints. Security miscalculations happen when threats are misjudged or resources are stretched. Fixed sites like the Tehran compound, while protected, can be vulnerable if patterns are predictable. Unconfirmed reports indicate Iran did not disperse leaders sufficiently, leading to the alleged exposure. In response, Iran might enhance countermeasures, but initial lapses allowed the opportunity. Expanding Iran's security involves the Revolutionary Guard, known for robust defenses, but reports claim overconfidence in underground facilities played a role. Miscalculations could arise from internal priorities diverting attention. 8. Intelligence advantage. Early intelligence provides operational advantage by allowing preemptive actions. Real-time data, as reportedly used here, enables precise timing, reducing collateral and increasing success rates. This power stems from integrating multiple sources for actionable insights. In detail, advantages include surprise elements and resource optimization. Reports suggest this case exemplified how months of buildup culminate in decisive moments, shifting geopolitical balances. 9. Global reaction. International media responded with coverage highlighting escalation risks. The New York Times detailed the intelligence aspects, while outlets like Reuters noted geopolitical shifts. Regional tension has risen, with Iran vowing retaliation. Media reactions varied by region. Western outlets focused on strategic implications, while Middle Eastern ones emphasized humanitarian concerns. Global leaders called for restraint amid fears of wider conflict. How leadership bunkers work. Leadership bunkers are facilities built to protect key officials during threats or attacks. According to reports, the Tehran compound involved in the alleged incident included underground elements designed for security. Underground construction begins with excavation to create deep chambers, often dozens of meters below the surface, to avoid direct hits from conventional weapons. Materials like reinforced concrete are used extensively in these structures. Reinforced concrete combines cement with steel bars or mesh to provide strength against compression and tension forces. Sources claim that Iranian bunkers employ high-grade concrete mixtures capable of withstanding significant explosive forces. Layered in walls that can be several meters thick. Blast-resistant design is incorporated to mitigate the effects of shockwaves and debris. This includes features such as angled walls to deflect blasts, pressure relief vents to release overpressure, and modular compartments that isolate damage to specific areas. Regional media claims suggest that the Tehran site had such designs, possibly inspired by military engineering standards from the Soviet era, or more recent adaptations. Unconfirmed reports indicate these bunkers may include multiple levels connected by reinforced tunnels, allowing movement without surface exposure. The construction process involves pouring concrete in stages, with curing periods to ensure durability and integration of utilities like electrical wiring and plumbing within the framework. To expand on this, leadership bunkers often feature independent systems for air filtration to handle chemical or biological threats, backup power from generators, and stockpiles of supplies for prolonged stays. As reported by the New York Times and related coverage, similar facilities in Iran are part of a network meant to ensure continuity of government. However, vulnerabilities can arise from construction flaws, such as seams in concrete that weaken over time or entry points that serve as weak links. Historical precedents show that even advanced bunkers, like those used by Saddam Hussein in Iraq, were penetrated through persistent intelligence and specialized munitions. In Iran's case, allegedly, the bunker-like aspects of the compound did not prevent detection of internal activities, raising questions about over-reliance on physical barriers without sufficient countermeasures against surveillance. Further analysis reveals that modern bunker design incorporates seismic considerations, especially in earthquake-prone areas like Iran, using flexible joints in concrete to absorb vibrations. Reports from regional outlets suggest upgrades to these facilities in recent years, including electromagnetic pulse protection to safeguard electronics from high-altitude detonations. Yet, if intelligence agencies can monitor access patterns or communications, the bunker's secrecy is compromised. Explain how costs for such construction run into hundreds of millions, involving specialized contractors and imported materials. Unconfirmed claims point to foreign expertise influencing Iranian designs, possibly from allies like Russia or China. Overall, while these bunkers provide a layer of defense, their effectiveness in modern warfare depends on integration with active security measures, which allegedly faltered in this scenario. 11. Surveillance from space. Surveillance from space relies on satellites to observe ground targets from orbit. According to reports, the CIA may have utilized satellite technology to monitor the Tehran compound. Satellites monitor activity by capturing images at regular intervals, allowing tracking of changes over time. High-resolution optical satellites can resolve details as small as a few centimeters, identifying vehicles or personnel movements around secured sites. Thermal imaging capabilities are crucial for detecting heat sources. These sensors pick up infrared radiation, revealing warm objects like running engines or human bodies against cooler backgrounds. Sources claim this method could have helped identify increased activity at the compound, such as gatherings or security deployments, even undercover. Movement tracking involves analyzing sequential images to map paths and patterns, using algorithms to predict future behaviors based on historical data. Regional media claims suggest U.S. satellites, possibly from the National Reconnaissance Office, provided persistent coverage over Iran. Unconfirmed reports indicate integration with other data sources for comprehensive views. To delve deeper, Satellites operate in low Earth orbit for detailed imaging or geostationary positions for continuous monitoring. Thermal imaging works by detecting temperature differences. Effective at night or through thin cloud cover, though obstructed by heavy weather. Historical uses include monitoring North Korean missile sites or Russian troop movements. In this case, allegedly, satellite data built a timeline of the meeting's preparation. Explain how data is downlinked to ground stations for analysis, where software enhances images to highlight anomalies. Challenges include orbital limitations requiring multiple satellites for full coverage. Reports from the New York Times note that commercial satellites supplemented official ones, providing plausible deniability. Further, synthetic aperture radar on satellites penetrates clouds, adding another layer for all-weather surveillance. If applied here, it could have mapped the compound's layout precisely. Overall, space-based surveillance offers a non-intrusive way to gather intelligence, but it requires correlation with ground truth to confirm details like occupant identities. Signal intelligence, SIGINT, signal intelligence, or SIGINT, involves collecting and analyzing electronic communications. According to reports, the CIA likely employed SIGINT to detect plans for the Tehran meeting. Phone interception captures voice or data calls, using equipment to eavesdrop on transmissions. This can occur through network taps or airborne platforms that relay signals. Encrypted communication analysis decodes protected messages. Agencies use supercomputers to break ciphers or exploit weaknesses in encryption protocols. Metadata tracking examines non-content data like call times, durations, and locations, revealing patterns without accessing the actual conversation. Sources claim this helped map associations among Iranian officials. As reported by the New York Times, SIGINT provided insights into Khamenei's schedule. Regional media claims suggest interception of routine communications exposed to the meeting. To expand, SIGINT platforms include ground stations, satellites, or drones equipped with antennas. Phone interception might involve compromising telecom infrastructure, a technique used globally. Historical examples include U.S. monitoring of Soviet lines during the Cold War. In modern terms, tools like quantum computing aid in cracking advanced encryption. Metadata can build social graphs showing who communicates with whom, potentially flagging high-level gatherings. Unconfirmed reports indicate Iran uses secure lines, but vulnerabilities in supply chains allow backdoors. Explain how analysis involves linguists and AI to process vast data volumes. Challenges include signal jamming or use of couriers to avoid electronic trails. Allegedly, a combination of methods overcame these in the Tehran case. Further, SIGINT often integrates with other intelligence disciplines for validation. Reports suggest real-time SIGINT enabled the timing shift. In summary, SIGINT's power lies in its ability to uncover intentions through electronic footprints, making it a cornerstone of modern espionage. 13. Cyber penetration. Cyber penetration refers to breaching digital systems to access information. If communication systems were compromised, as unconfirmed reports suggest, this could have revealed the meeting details. Malware and infiltration methods involve deploying software like viruses or Trojans via phishing or supply chain attacks. Remote data extraction pulls files or logs from hacked devices without physical access. Sources claim Israeli intelligence, possibly Mossad, excels in such operations against Iran. According to reports, tools like Stuxnet, historically used against Iranian nuclear facilities, demonstrate this capability. Regional media claims indicate cyber methods supplemented other surveillance. To analyze, infiltration starts with reconnaissance to identify vulnerabilities, followed by exploit delivery. Malware can lurk undetected, exfiltrating data over encrypted channels. Historical global examples include Russian hacks on U.S. elections or Chinese espionage on corporations. In this scenario, allegedly, cyber penetration targeted Iranian government networks, extracting schedules or attendee lists. Explain how advanced, persistent threats maintain long-term access. Challenges include air-gapped systems, but reports suggest bridges via USB or insiders. The New York Times has covered similar operations, noting joint U.S.-Israel cyber efforts. Further, remote extraction uses techniques like keyloggers or screen captures. If successful, this provides granular details unattainable elsewhere. Unconfirmed claims point to zero-day exploits tailored for Iranian software. Overall, cyber penetration amplifies intelligence by accessing internal data, shifting warfare to digital domains. 14. Internal informants. Internal informants are human sources within target organizations providing information. How human intelligence sources operate involves recruitment, handling, and extraction of data. Recruiters identify dissatisfied individuals through blackmail, ideology, or money. Why insider leaks are powerful? They offer context and verification that technical means cannot. Historical examples globally include Aldrich Ames spying for the Soviets or Israeli moles in Arab states. Sources claim possible informants in Iran's leadership circle leaked meeting details. According to reports, such human intelligence complemented CIA efforts. Regional media claims suggest long-term assets built over years. To expand, operations involve secure communications like dead drops or encrypted apps. Power comes from access to unrecorded discussions. Examples: Kim Philby in MI6 or FBI's Robert Hansen. In Middle East contexts, Mossad's recruitment in Lebanon or Syria. Allegedly, in Iran, informants provided confirmation of Khamenei's attendance. Explain risks. Detection leads to executions, so handling emphasizes caution. Unconfirmed reports indicate financial incentives or defection promises. The New York Times has reported on defector networks. Further, informants validate SIGINT, reducing false positives. In summary, human intelligence remains vital, offering nuances machines miss. 15. Alleged intelligence sharing mechanism. Alleged intelligence sharing mechanism between U.S. and Israeli agencies involves formal channels. Explain how U.S. and Israeli intelligence agencies share information through agreements like the Five Eyes, extended to Israel via memoranda. Joint Operations Framework includes liaison officers and shared databases. Real-time data coordination uses secure links for instant transmission. Sources claim this enabled quick relay of Tehran intel. As reported by the New York Times, sharing is pivotal. Regional media claims highlight historical pacts post-1967 war. To detail, mechanisms involve classified portals where data is uploaded with access controls. Coordination meetings align priorities. Historical cooperation, Iran nuclear deal monitoring. Allegedly, CIA data went to Mossad for action. Explain protocols prevent leaks with vetting processes. Unconfirmed reports suggest fusion centers for analysis. Further, sharing includes raw data or finished reports. In this case, it allegedly facilitated the strike. Overall, such mechanisms enhance collective security but risk entanglements. 16. Operational timing shift. Operational timing shifts occur in military planning to optimize outcomes. Explain why. To exploit vulnerabilities or minimize risks. Intelligence alters strike windows by providing updates on target status. According to reports, initial night plans change to morning based on meeting intel. Sources claim this maximized high-value targets. Regional media claims note the precision required. To analyze, planning involves contingency timelines. Intelligence triggers reassessments via command chains. Historical examples: Bin Laden raid adjustments. Allegedly, here SIGINT confirmed the window. Explain factors: weather, defenses, extraction. Unconfirmed reports indicate rapid approvals. The New York Times detailed the shift. Further, shifts balance surprise with preparation. In summary, flexibility is key in intelligence-driven ops. 17. Media leaks. Media leaks involve information reaching outlets like the New York Times from sources. Role of anonymous intelligence officials. They provide details for public narrative or policy influence. How? Through secure drops or interviews. Sources claim leaks post-strike shaped perceptions. Regional media claims amplified them. According to reports, officials briefed journalists off-record. To expand, leaks serve deterrence or justification. Historical Pentagon Papers. Allegedly, here, leaks confirm CIA role. Explain vetting by editors. Unconfirmed claims point to strategic timing. Further, leaks risk operations but inform public. In summary, they bridge secrecy and accountability. 18. Strategic impact. Strategic impact includes regional escalation risks from the alleged strike. Iran's possible response, retaliation via proxies or missiles. Global oil market effects. Disruptions raise prices. Military implications, shifted balances, prompting arms races. Sources claim heightened tensions. As reported by the New York Times, allies realigned. Regional media claims predict proxy escalations in Syria or Yemen. To detail, escalation risks involve chain reactions. Iran's response might target U.S. bases. Oil effects, Strait of Hormuz threats, spike costs. Military-enhanced defenses needed. Unconfirmed reports suggest deterrence achieved. Further, impacts on diplomacy, strained talks. In summary, strikes reshape geopolitics. 19. Long-term intelligence war. Long-term intelligence war frames modern warfare as intelligence-driven. Explain how data superiority decides outcomes. Cyber warfare targets networks for disruption. Surveillance states monitor populations extensively. Proxy conflicts use intelligence for indirect engagements. Sources claim U.S.-Israel versus Iran exemplifies this. According to reports, ongoing ops include cyber intrusions. Regional media claims highlight escalations. To expand, intelligence drives preemption. Cyber Stuxnet-like attacks. Surveillance, global networks track threats. Proxies, funding militias with intel support. Historical, Cold War espionage. Allegedly, Tehran incident part of broader war. Explain evolution. AI enhances analysis. Unconfirmed reports predict intensified cyber battles. The New York Times covers these trends. Further, wars extend to space and undersea domains. In summary, intelligence wars define future conflicts. If you want more serious intelligence breakdowns and geopolitical analysis, subscribe and share this series. This analysis is based on media reports, including references to the New York Times and regional news outlets. Some claims remain unconfirmed. We do not independently verify intelligence allegations. Sources are referenced in the video description.